So it is 5:15 on Thursday night. I'm in Los Angeles, so it starts for me much earlier than everywhere else. And I thought I would figure out what I want to read tomorrow first today, since it's the only book that I can actually figure out. And I don't remember the prompt. So a dark cover or a fantasy. Got so many books on my TBR this month that are fantasy, so that's not necessarily a problem. Oh, you know what? There is Truthwitch by Susan Dennard. Jade from JD Reads is doing a witch along, which is reading the series because the newest book in the series is coming out in a couple of months, and I've never read the series. I love read-alongs, I just never stay up to date with them, so this might be a fun opportunity to try and work this book into the prompt, because there is so it does have a dark cover and it also is a fantasy. So like here's ultimately like my biggest issue, I guess, going into Bookoplathon is I have my first day of work on Monday. I've done this job before, just like kind of restarting after a couple of weeks off, and I just don't know if I want to not be at least somewhat rested for it. So I don't think I'm going to do the whole like stay up forever and ever. I will definitely get less sleep, probably like 4 to 5 hours a night, but I'm just going to take that loss as what it is, because I just can't really afford to do like a 48-hour barely sleeping readathon. But that's okay, because my goal for tomorrow will be to read a lot of this book, and if I want to take a break I can always like play my video game while I'm listening to the audiobook, do some crochet, watercolor, whatever else I want to do that I'm not just like sitting basically in this chair and reading. I will likely be in this chair and in this corner most of the time just because I set it up and it's so nice. I've got like my little table here, my little bookshelf and lamp. I can open this window behind me. I'm not right now because it's too loud. So wish me luck, and I will check in with you guys tomorrow once I officially start reading a little bit. Oh, the glare is obnoxious. Okay, let me take those off. Okay. So it is about an hour, a little less than an hour and a half into the Bookoplathon. Sorry, I lost my total train of thought here. I can show you that I have 1 minute and 8 seconds or so left in the first or the second reading sprints on Becca's channel from Becca and the Books, and I am 20% of the way through Truthwitch, which is like less. I don't know, I would guess around like 80 some pages. I'm intrigued, I'm enjoying it, it's fun, it's pretty fast paced so far. I like the characters, I'm enjoying it. So like my plans for the night are to obviously read as much as I can. I'm hoping that by the end of Becca's sprints I'll be at the 50% mark or right around there, because that would be around 9 p.m. for me, and I'm hoping to finish this book tonight before I go to sleep. But I'm going to listen to the audiobook of Truthwitch while I make some dinner, and then probably listen to it a little bit while I eat. I might take a slight break from reading and or listening to it and watch a half hour or something, because I just feel like I could use a break. But I will let you guys know as things go on. So I thought I would do a quick update. I've changed locations. I'm in my little reading corner now. I've got all of my beverages, snacks, a whole stack of books. I've got 2 more books and my glasses on the edge of my bed here. Phone, all this stuff. I am just about to start chapter 16. I don't think you can see that on here, but that's fine. Chapter 16, which is about 39% of the way through the book, so I'm feeling pretty good with my time of it all. I did listen to the last couple of chapters to do some cleaning and tidying up. I cleaned my kitchen, I cleaned up my dishes, I kind of did all that stuff. I got myself all situated here, so I'm feeling pretty good. So my plan is just to kind of see how I feel as I go on. I don't know how late I'm going to stay up, just because. And I also have to be up by 8 a.m. tomorrow to move my car, because my building has decided that they're going to clean the parking garage all day on a Saturday during COVID. So that seems like really dumb planning when they could have done it at any time during the week, since a lot of people are gone during the day, but that's fine. So I'm gonna treat myself to McDonald's tomorrow morning for breakfast, or maybe I'll get like Burger King or something. I don't know, some sort of fast food for breakfast, because if I'm gonna have to go out, I'm gonna treat myself to something. Yeah, so anyways, okay, that's my quick update. I will check in with you guys later. Okay, so I just got to chapter 29, which is 67% of the way through Truthwitch. I think I'm gonna be done for tonight because I am exhausted, and I don't really want to use up all of my energy tonight before we get the next set of prompts. I'd rather stay up later tomorrow night when I may have multiple books I'm trying to finish versus just the one. I am really enjoying this. My problem is I don't like Sophia as a character, because she's kind of, there's a very specific brand of women characters in YA, and they're kind of bratty, and I don't particularly enjoy that in a lot of ways, especially when we haven't really seen her like earn that, I guess, which I know that sounds kind of bad, but it's kind of the idea that she's just threatening people constantly and not like thinking through her actions, which I get, she's a teenager and all that stuff, but also we haven't really seen her power or like her skills that much, so it just feels like unearned in a lot of ways, at least to me. It's fine, I still like Isolde, and I feel bad because for majority of this book so far she's been like basically unconscious. Like, what chapter? We're on chapter 29. I think they were taken in like chapter 15 or something like that. So I'm like, it's been over 10 chapters and she's not really been able to do anything. So I don't know. I'm still curious as to where it's going, and I'm interested. I am just very tired and I cannot articulate anything more. So I will check in with you guys tomorrow morning. Okay, so I moved my car. I'm making some coffee right now, and I'm gonna probably move to my living room for a bit this morning just to be out of my room a little, and I don't totally feel like reading right now, so I'm gonna just go with that feeling while I eat breakfast and chill. But I did pick the book that I'm going to read for the contemporary and POC rep, and that's going to be Get a Life, Chloe Brown by Talia Hibbert. I read this last year, so this will be a reread for me, but I'm hoping that because it's a reread of a book that I really enjoyed, I'll be able to read it much quicker. I think I'm going to bring this one with me and just kind of read it off and on over the next like couple hours or so and see how the day takes me. I know I should be more concerned with like, oh no, like I haven't finished a single book yet, but I'm just not. They'll finish when they finish. But yeah, so that's my update. I'm gonna read this, and I will I still have the sprints on in the background. Ashley and Leanne are still reading, and I'm like, I should be reading too, but I'm not gonna. I'm still waking up a little bit. I just had to park my car like 4 blocks away. I just want to have some coffee, and I just kind of want to chill. Maybe I'll watch an episode of Schitt's Creek just to put me in a good headspace to read for today. So I wanted to give a quick update. It's been a couple of hours. They are still cleaning the parking garage below me, so it's a little loud. I'm sorry if you can hear that. I did read a fair bit of Get a Life, Chloe Brown. I've got like 160 pages left to read, so I made a ton of progress on this one, and I've still got 5 hours until the second prompt drops. So I'm over halfway on both of my books. Unfortunately, I do have a headache, and I'm scared it's going to turn into a migraine, so I'm going to take a break from reading. Hopefully this noise will die down, eat some lunch, and then maybe try to rest for a little bit to just stop this from becoming a potential migraine. So wish me luck. I just really need this noise to go away.
I'm excited too, so that's what you guys have and more. But the roll drops are gonna drop right now. Okay, are you guys ready for the first roll drop?
Bookoplathon board roll number 3 is an 8. And that is the first book in a series. 2021 board roll number 3 is a 9. And that is a chance card.
Okay, so we just got our next 2 prompts, which are the first book in a series and or a chance card. Here's the conundrum that I'm in. Do I put a bunch of first books in a series in a chance drawing, and that way whichever one I pick will ultimately end up being my fulfillment for both prompts? Or do I randomly try to find short books to fill all the other prompts I've been doing and try to do 8 books? Why do I want to do that? I don't know. Have I finished a single book yet? No, I have not. I've not finished 1 book yet. So for the rest of the month, I have 4 books that are technically the first in series on my TBR as I sit here right now that I have yet to read for March. It's The Duke and I by Julia Quinn, Destiny's Embrace by Beverly Jenkins, The Killing Moon by N.K. Jemisin. I know you can't see these, but just go with it for right now. And A Dark and Hollow Star by Ashley Shuttleworth. So here's what I'm thinking. If I go through and try to figure out a way to hit all of my prompts with 1 book each. So if I do Truthwitch and use that as my fantasy book, I do then have The Empress of Salt and Fortune here, which is very short, which could be my dark cover, because it's mostly dark. It's fine. Or this could be fantasy and that one could be dark cover. They're both basically mostly black covers anyways. So I could do that. And then I have Get a Life Chloe Brown, as right now it stands as my POC and contemporary, but I could use it as just my contemporary and then read Beverly Jenkins' Destiny's Embrace as my POC rep. Or I could pick up the Take a Hint Dani Brown and read that one as the second prompt of that one. That's an option. If I do decide to do that, then I would need to pick a first in a series and also a chance card. I do have some comics though from the library rented right now, so theoretically I could put those in my chance cards. Here's what I'm going to do is I'm going to make my list of all of the first in a series books that I might read and draw one from there and make sure that I have an equal number of books I want to read and books I don't want to read. Or, well, the problem is I want to read all of these, but obviously for a readathon there are some I'd like to read more than others. And then I will do a second drawing of miscellaneous chance books. That's gonna be, okay, that's gonna be the plan. I will check back in with you. Okay. So, I made my list of the first books in a series to make as a chance drawing. So I have A Dark and Hollow Star, Fate of the Fallen, The Duke and I, The Killing Moon, and Leviathan Wakes. Oh, and Vicious. Sorry, forgot. I couldn't count for a second there. 3 of them are starred. The Duke and I, The Killing Moon, and Vicious, because those are the shortest ones. And also the ones that I'm actually very excited about reading. Okay. Moment of truth. No! The one book that's not even slightly on my TBR this month. Oh, are you freaking kidding me? With Leviathan Wakes. This gives me more incentive to have one of the other books be my chance book, so I can pick one of the other books that are actually on my TBR this month. So this could be good incentive to try to get through 6 books in the next 12 hours. Will I do it? I don't know. So then I'm going to dump the rest of these out, and then I'm going to put in my random chance ones to maybe pick one from there and see how I feel about this chance card. Because if I end up getting one of the shorter ones, then I can pick whatever book I want for the first in a series. The Day of the Triffids, which is a book club pick for one of the book clubs that I'm trying to follow. We've got Think of England, which is a really short queer historical romance. We've got The Unworthy Thor, which is obviously a comic. We've got Captain America Volume 1, which is also a comic. The Power, which is a book that I'm not super excited to read right now. And what was this one? Oh, The Dark Tide. Okay. Please give me a short one. Oh, I see a star. I see a star. Which one is it? Oh, Think of England. Okay. This is a book by K.G. Charles. It's a queer historical romance between 2 men, and I love this one because it kind of plays under the, it's kind of got a himbo for a main character, and I love that. And I have not read it in like a couple of years, so okay, this will be fun. Okay, so if I take this as my chance card, then I have to pick another book to be my first in a series card. Okay, I have a game plan. I ate some dinner, I watched an episode of Hell's Kitchen, and I'm ready to read now. So, I've got about 70 pages left of Truthwitch, and I've got like 80 pages left of Get a Life Chloe Brown. So my first plan is I'm going to finish both of these. I'm feeling like there's a chance I could get through a lot of books today, especially if it's Take a Hint, Dani Brown, Think of England, and The Empress of Salt and Fortune. They're all relatively smaller. I'll actually go this way so you can actually see them. Like, they're all pretty small, and I mean, it only took me like a couple of hours to get through Get a Life Chloe Brown. I will check in with you guys when I finish my books. So I officially finished Get a Life Chloe Brown. I do really love this book. I still love this book. My biggest complaint is just how quickly they realize they're in love with each other, because it happens in like 3 weeks. But it is a romance, so I'm totally willing to let that slide. This is super cute. So this was my prompt for the second set of rolls. So rolls 3 and 4 to hit POC, rep, and a contemporary as of things standing right now. This may change as I go on. I might add another book to read. We're gonna kind of see how I go throughout the rest of the night. It is only like 7:30 for me, so I'm not like, it's not super late, but there is part of me that's like, do I want to stay up all night reading if I don't necessarily have to? I don't know. We'll see. But I'm going to now finish Truthwitch. I have officially finished Truthwitch. So overall, I really liked it. I think my biggest problem is, the biggest downfall for me is Sophia, or Safi. I didn't really care about her character. Everyone else was more interesting than Safi. I mean, you have Iseult, who is basically an outsider and just hated for the the person that she is, who is a thread witch and doesn't really have much and is just kind of expected to always go along with Sophia or Safi. But then you kind of delve a little bit into her past and like what she's being used for now, and her whole complicated history with magic and things is so interesting. And then you have Merrick, who is the prince of a neighboring kingdom, and he's trying to gain trade and food and resources for his people because their lands were destroyed in the war, which I love the politics of it all. His sister is a pirate and is kind of not caring about any of that stuff, and he's unsure where his dad's loyalties lie in it all, which is very interesting. You have Ivrain, who is a trained warrior monk who is also obviously a witch and rescued Iseult when she was younger. Ivrain just being like an older woman who is a warrior monk badass who's just super cool. I would love to read a story just about her. And then you have Leopold and Adawan, which I really liked their team up. I will admit that for a while I wasn't really sure which way it was going to go, but I really ended up liking it. And there's a specific moment with Leopold saying to Adawan that you're not the monster they think you are, or something along those lines. And I so want them to be a thing in the future books, because to me that is like peak romance. That is peak romance. The idea of being like, you are so much better than they think that you are, and I see it even if they don't, is so interesting and it's so intriguing, and I just love it so much. So I just feel like all the characters that we're introduced to in this particular book that have points of view are just more interesting than Safi. And I think the problem is Safi also falls under the sort of like chosen one trope, which is she's special because the narrative tells us that she's special. I mean, we didn't really get to see her use her magic too much, but we didn't really get to see that with Iseult either. But it just sort of fell a little flat for me at times. But then it really picked up at the end, and I am very intrigued as to where this is going to go in the next book. I might read The Empress of Salt and Fortune first to kind of get this like out of the way, quote unquote, because it is the other fantasy and it is shorter. It's only like 118 pages, so I'm going to I'll definitely get through this in the next like hour or so. And then I can pick up A Dark and Hollow Star for a bit, and if this starts to get a little bit too heavy, I can swap to one of my two romances that are right here. So that's going to be my plans for right now. So I'm going to read An Empress of Salt and Fortune, and wish me luck. Okay, so I finished The Empress of Salt and Fortune. I really liked it, but I feel like I'm a little bit too tired to really like grasp it fully. But I liked the weird sort of style that it was, where it's basically Rabbit telling her history with the Empress to sort of a random person, and we're like seeing things play out. Yeah, it was really good, and I am glad that I read it. My problem is I'm getting tired. And I don't know what to do about that, because I still have this baby to read, plus my other books. So what I think I'm going to do is I think I'm going to go and wash my face, put on a face mask, and then I'm going to try to read. I'd like to at least get to chapter 8, which is 114 pages into A Dark and Hollow Star, because I feel like by that point I'll know whether or not I want to continue this book, and if for whatever reason I don't, I will swap to another one, or I don't know why I keep going out of focus. Yeah, so I feel like at that point I will know whether or not I want to keep reading this book, or if I want to swap to my other options and sort of go from there. I guess wish me luck again. Good morning, everybody. So I am here with some updates. I'm super sorry about my voice. I've been waiting to film until it like calmed down from the morning, but it's not until I start talking, and here we go. Okay, so updates from last night. I did finish Think of England by KG Charles. I read it and finished it last night. It's still it's just really funny. It's a fun, cute sort of historical romance that's set between male. So basically we have our two main characters, Archie Curtis and Daniel De Silva, and they both are going to the Armstrongs like country estate for like a 2-week party thing, but they both sort of have ulterior motives for being there. Like, Daniel is very suave and he's very smart and intelligent and he's very quick on his feet, and Curtis is he's a himbo. I really can't say it any other way than that. Like, he is very sweet, strong, but also like 3 steps behind at every given moment. Every given moment that he could be on the same page as everyone else, he just isn't. It's really hard to like tell you what the book is about without just like telling you what the book is about and like spoiling everything. But it does end on a very sweet sort of note. I really liked this book. I'm glad that I picked it up. I did switch to my Kindle for A Dark and Hollow Star last night because I laid in bed and read, and it was just easier on my Kindle, and I had already bought the Kindle version before I got the hardback cover in my Illumicrate, so I have 2 versions of it. I think I'm like almost 200 pages into it, and I'm enjoying it. I'm enjoying it a lot more than I thought I was going to. Like, I got into it pretty quick, so that was exciting. But I'm actually going to put it aside for today because it is the one book on my TBR for Bookoplathon that is also on my TBR for the rest of the month. So if I don't finish it today, like, I will be fine and I will continue to read it. Versus the other books, if I don't, then I'm not going to read them at all. So, the only other book as of like before the last roll drops happened that was still on my TBR is Take a Hint, Dani Brown by Talia Hibbert. I did start it this morning when I got up. It's not really in focus, but whatever. I did start it this morning when I got up because like I said, I really wasn't able to like speak words, and so I started reading this, and I got through like 140 pages of it, which was really good. So I'll be able to finish this one up today. So that's good. Then we have the final 2 roll drops. So the prompts were one, set in present day, and then the second prompt is other, a book from a genre you don't typically read. I thought, set a genre I don't typically read, I'm going to read one of the comics that I have because I don't really read comics. This is the first time I'm reading comics in years. So I'm going to read the Unworthy Thor collection by Jason Aaron. So basically, yeah, it is. Thor's unfit to wield the hammer, and so he's trying to find a way to gain that worthiness back. It's 5 collections, or 5 issues in this collection, so I think that'll be good. Something fun to read, and it shouldn't take me too long to read it. And then I did also get Citizen by Claudia Rankin, the audiobook of it, and I'm going to use that for my present day. I have read Citizen a few times before, but I don't remember if I've listened to the audiobook of it. But it is only like a little over 2 hours for the audiobook, so I'll be able to listen to that throughout the day as well, which I'm actually really excited about. So, if I complete all of that, I will have read 8 books for this weekend, which is wild to me. And even, again, I know that this might be cheating, but even if I don't finish A Dark and Hollow Star by this evening, if I can finish the rest of them, I am still gonna count this as a massive, massive win. So that just feels good to me. I love it. I feel like I'm in a pretty good spot to at least finish the 3 books I want to finish today. Okay, so quick updates. Cody's, what is this called? Live show, book sprints. Oh my god, my brain is totally fried. Is just starting, and so I thought I would take a quick moment to give an update. I finished The Unworthy Thor, which was awesome. Very quick read too. I got through it very quickly, and then I basically spent the rest of Aaron, I'm so sorry, my brain is just totally fried. And then I spent the rest of Aaron's book sprints laying in this chair listening to Citizen by Claudia Rankin. It was obviously very, very good. It's one of the best like lyric essays, poem collections, mixed media books ever, really. And it was really good to listen to it. I really liked listening to it. It was I don't know, it brought like another level to it. So that's awesome. My problem is I am really exhausted and just like fading really fast. So I think what I'm gonna do, since Take a Hint, Dani Brown is the only book that I really, really want to finish today, I might just sort of like chill for like half of Cody's sprint and just sort of see how I feel in a little while, because like I basically have hours to finish the last like 200 pages or so, since A Dark and Hollow Star is just not a priority right now. Yeah, so that's kind of what my plan is for right now, is just to kind of read this sort of slowly as I go. I don't think I'm gonna participate in the sprints. I'm gonna have it on my phone as I kind of watch something else and just sort of take a full break. And then I will for sure be back in time for Becca's sprints, because I do want to watch those live since it is the last one. And at the very least, I'll need to be finishing Take a Hint, Dani Brown. So that is my plans for right now. Okay, so it is about 7 o'clock my time on Sunday night. The Bookoplathon is officially over, and I just did not feel like doing anything a couple hours ago. So I was like, I'll wait. And then I was like, maybe I'll read more tonight and I'll still count it. And then I just do not feel like it. I am very tired. My brain is very tired, and I'm just not feeling it. So I did finish Take a Hint, Dani Brown, which, again, I love this book. It's so fun. I think as of right now, this is my favorite in the Brown Sisters series. I just really like Dani, but I really like Saphir as well. I think Saphir is one of my favorite like romantic heroes ever. He's just so sweet, and it's like deconstructing the idea of like toxic masculinity in a lot of ways. I just think he's so sweet, and I love him so much. I was super happy to be able to read this one this weekend. I'd forgotten how much I loved it, and now I'm really excited to read the next one in the series. And then I did read just a little bit more of A Dark and Hollow Star. I got to page like 300 or so. Let me see if I can find it in here. Okay, so I got to chapter 19, which is I guess page 285, but that's fine. So I did not finish it, but again, this was the one I said I'm cool with if I don't finish, because I'll finish it this week. I thought I would just really quickly go through the books that I did read and like what prompts they covered. So I read Truthwitch, which was to read a book with a dark cover. I read An Empress of Salt and Fortune, which was a fantasy. I read Take a Hint, Dani Brown, to be my POC rep. I read Get a Life, Chloe Brown, to be my contemporary. I read Think of Me as my chance card. I read half of A Dark and Hollow Star to be a first in a series, and I read The Unworthy Thor, a comic series, for the genre I don't usually read, and then I listened to the audiobook of Citizen for the prompt set in the modern day, or modern present day. I think it was present day, not modern. I don't know what I'm thinking. For the present day. So, like I said, I read a total of 7.5 books for a complete total of 2,038 pages, which is wild to think about. I really can't believe that I read this much this weekend. This was so fun. I hope that it happens again in the future. Like, not too soon. I'm exhausted and I didn't have anything to do but read. But I think I really love like weekend or week-long readathons more than the month-long, because the month-long ones I get too overwhelmed. So this was really awesome for me. I'm super happy I was able to read so much, and it was just really great. I just really enjoyed it. So that's it for me. This is the end of the vlog. Let me know in the comments below if you participated, what books you read, and how you liked your experience. I'm honestly really interested in how everybody did and how they felt doing it, because I think the thing that kind of came up a lot in a lot of the live shows was how much fun it was for all of us to kind of be together in this way, which I totally agree. The fact that you knew there was always somebody who was going to be reading at the same time as you was really comforting in a lot of ways, especially after this last year where a lot of us have been kind of separated. And that was just really amazing, and I would love to hear more from you about how you felt and how your weekend went. But that's all for me. As always, thank you all so much for watching, and I hope that you have a fantastic day.